I'm going to eat cheese from Bluedino. Also, I will be drinking a glass of wine that's Old Kagor wine, and I did almost finished the entire bottle. Cheese in StarCraft 2 isn't nothing. Cheese most often refers to an unexpected strategy that relies in large part on lack of information and or psychological impact on the opponent. Cheese build orders typically revolve around an early attack that, if undetected, is more difficult to defend than execute. So basically what happens really is that some of the players in StarCraft 2, they would play only cheese and nothing else most of the time that they play StarCraft 2. And cheese is an early game aggression. The player doesn't really play a game for longer than 5 or 6 minutes approximately, and he perfects his cheese timings, his strategy, his unexpected early aggression so much that for any regular high level or non-high level player out there playing StarCraft 2, it is extremely difficult to defend against such a thing. So it isn't uncommon for cheese loving players to climb up the ladder very quickly because they win games very rapidly, and it is a form of a game that could be very enjoyable or very frustrating, especially for those who encounter players that have perfected cheese to its limits, and then they just lose to cheese, and that's where frustration comes up, because players most of the time, I would personally believe, would prefer to play a medium to long game where they would build most of the buildings, most of the units, would have high upgraded armies, large armies, which would be stacked against an opponent, and that's that, rather than being defeated in a very early game. So, 2018 WCS Leipzig Latin America qualifier. That's what I'm going to talk about while eating the cheese. Now it's time to open it. It looks like it has been very well packaged, so it may not be an easy task to open it. And here I have the block of cheese. The 2018 WCS Leipzig Latin America qualifier allows 2 players to win travel, accommodation and entrance fully paid to 2018 WCS Leipzig. It's held in South America and it's an online tournament. The prize pool is $10,000. Game version 4.1.3. The first place is awarded $4,000. Second place gets $2,000. Third place gets $1,200. Fourth place gets $800. Fifth, sixth places get $600. Seventh, eighth place gets $400. There's going to be losers rounds as well as the actual playoffs. And so the playoffs. First of all, it's the quarterfinals. 2 Brazilian players, Calazur Terran versus Eric Zerg. 3-1 Calazur wins. In the second match, 2 Terran players meet each other. Yarpi from Chile versus Smile from Canada. 3-0 Yarpi wins against Smile. In the third match, 2 Mexican players and as well 2 Zerg players from Mexico. Cham versus Jim Rising. 3-0 Cham wins. The fourth and final match of the quarterfinals. Special, player from Mexico who's playing Terran versus Ryu, a player from Canada who play as a Zerg. 3-0. Special has won. In the semifinals, we'll see Calazur versus Yarpi and Cham versus Special. The losers from the quarterfinals will compete in the losers round 1. That's Smile versus Eric and Ryu versus Jim Rising. In the first match of the losers round 1, Canadian player Smile, who played as a Terran, has lost against the Brazilian player Eric, who played as a Zerg, 2-0. In the second losers round 1 match, Ryu, Canadian player, with his Zerg race has lost against Mexican player Jim Rising, who played as a Zerg as well, 2-0. In the semifinals, the first match, Calazur versus Yarpi. Calazur is a Brazilian player who played as a Terran. Yarpi is a player from Chile who played as a Terran as well. 3-1 Calazur has won the match and moved on to the winners finals, while Yarpi has moved down to his second chance at the losers round 2. Cham and Special are both Mexican players. Cham played as a Zerg while Special played as a Terran. 3-0 Special has won against Cham. 2 losers, Yarpi and Cham, will compete in the losers round 2. Cham played against Eric and Yarpi plays against Jim Rising in losers round 2. In the first match of the losers round 2, Cham, Mexican player with his Zerg race, competed against another Zerg, Eric from Brazil. 2-0 Cham has won. In the second losers round 2 match, Yarpi, player from Chile who played as a Terran, has lost against Mexican player Jim Rising, who played as a Zerg. Jim Rising moved on to the losers round 3. In the losers round 3, we saw 2 Mexican players, Cham and Jim Rising. Cham and Jim Rising, they're both Zerg players as well as Mexican. 3-0 Cham has won the match. In the winners finals, Calazur, Brazilian player versus Special, Mexican player. Both of these were Terrans. 1-0 Mexico. Special has won the match and moved on to the grand finals, while Kilazur has moved on to the losers finals where he got a second chance at the grand finals. He faced Cham, a Mexican player from Mexico. And so we saw Kilazur, Brazilian player, with his turn race versus Cham, Zurich player from Mexico. 3-0, Kilazur has won the match and went on to play in the grand finals where he competed against the same player he played in the winners finals. That's special. The difference is that it's best of 7 rather than best of 5 as it was in the winners finals. And so in the grand finals, Special and Kilazur, these are both Terran players. Special is from Mexico while Kilazur is from Brazil. 4-0, Special has won the match and the first place with his Terran race. Second place went on to another Terran, Kilazur. Third place went to the Zerg player Cham, and fourth place went to the Zerg player Jim Rising. And you left the game.